Hello, I'm going to do the Capricorn Tarot Quickie for Tuesday, January 24th. And this may or may not resonate with you. If it does, take what does. If it does not, leave what does not, as that may be meant for someone else. All right, so what you may be dealing with today, struggling with: Seven of Wands, Five of Swords, and Ace of Pentacles. What you need to look at today: Page of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, and Seven of Swords. Energy coming in for you. Love it. Love it. Emperor. Two of Swords. King of Cups. Overall energy for the day. Love it. Hangman. So yesterday's Tarot Quickie, we had the Five of Swords in the energy of what you were struggling with. And it's come back again today. But I also feel like you're learning it could have to do something with business or money. That could also be a bigger clue as to what it is that you're dealing with. It could be a different situation, as yesterday's may have been towards a person. This may be towards work, right? Standing up, you're having trouble with standing up for what you want to do with work or finances or your career. Sometimes people around us like to say, well, you should really do this or you should really do that. I mean, I had that when I was a kid, that my dad, I wanted to go into horses and I wanted to do something in the equine world, but my father felt that that wasn't going to be make money. And so this was all before, like, when computers were first starting, and he wanted me to be a programmer. Kind of a difference there between the two. So I ended up going to school to do that, which I hated it and I didn't like it and I didn't do anything with it. But I didn't have a choice because I had to listen to what my father had to say, and I wasn't strong enough to stand up for myself, right? So I feel like you may be going through the same thing, is that there's someone around you that is trying to guide you towards something, but you feel that this is not something that you really want to do. What you need to look at is kind of coming out of the shadows, right? And starting to focus on those things that are important to you and taking it one day at a time and start building up your own, right? That putting that pentacle into your own jar, your own cookie jar, and that sometimes if this person has that stipulation that they'll pay for something if you do it the way that they want to, but you're like, hey, no way, like, I'm going to take control of this situation and I'm going to do it my way, coming out of the shadows and saying, hey, no, it's going to be the way that I want to. How am I going to make that happen? That it may be a slower process, but at least you feel like you have control of the situation, right? Because the future energy is coming in as we have the Emperor, which is powerful, right? Coming into your own power, that there's a choice that you have to make, and one that you're going to have to let go and one that you're going to have to move towards. But your overall energy as a hanging man is seeing things from a different perspective. Is what is it that you truly want to do? What is it that you want to have happen? Because that's what you're struggling with, is what is important to you. All right, so let's get some Lenormand. So these two kind of came out for the Seven of Wands, is kind of clearing those clouds and having that faith and belief in yourself that you can make things happen. Sometimes when we have someone around us that is very overbearing, they take away our confidence and they take away our power. And so it's regaining that power and that faith and belief in ourselves, right? Starting to build things on your own, right? Building your own nest, not doing it the way that someone else wants, but putting your sword down, right? Because he has a sword which is cutting right through here, and it's time to build something for yourself. And then we have the snake with the Ace of Pentacles, is that I feel like that just represents that that's not what you want to do, right? Being careful, what is that person's motives, right? Because we're going back to these people over here with this Five of Swords, is what is that person's motive in this situation? And is it not really about you, but it's about them? And that's, like I was saying with my father, yes, he was trying to look out for me and, have me do a career, which if I had done that, It would have been very lucrative, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do, right? But it wasn't what I was interested in. It doesn't mean to say that going in the equine world, it wouldn't have been as lucrative, but it also would have been something that I wanted to do and focus on. But I feel like the sun's shining through, right? The sun's starting to come through, right? Starting to clear up, starting to see what it is that's important to you. Communication, definitely communication as to what makes you happy. Maybe it's about writing a letter to this person and explaining it to them, because sometimes when we do it face to face, we kind of lose those words that we want to say, that we forget what we want to say. But if we're able to write it down, then we're able to say everything that we want to say, whether we take a couple days, a couple hours, or a couple weeks in order to figure out what we want to say, that we feel like we're able to cover everything that is important to us. It also could be reaching out and communicating to something that has to do, like researching it, right? If one person wants you to do one thing and you want to do something else, maybe it's starting to research that, right? Starting to put your maybe resume out there, or starting to research this thing that you want to do, to show that person that, hey, this is important to me. I feel like when you start stacking things in your own column, you start to feel relieved, you start to feel better, like this calmness, right? With the lilies, it means calm and peace, and you're like, hey, I'm putting stuff in my cookie jar. I'm putting stuff towards me. You start saving, right? Maybe if it's something that, like I said, if that person says that they would pay if you do it the way that they want to do it, but you're like, no, I want to do it my way. So then you start putting and saving for yourself. We have the um, Seven of Swords, which I feel like it's coming out of the shadows, right? Standing up front. And it could be something that you do a little bit at a time. As you start to, sometimes you start to plant the seeds that, hey, I don't want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do what makes me happy. We have the Emperor, and then we have the magnifying glass. So looking at how can you come into your own power. What is your, if you have a plan and you have a direction and you have a goal, and you can say, here, this is what I want to do, this is how I see it going, this is why I'm doing this. And if you have that, then that shows that other person that, oh, like, these are all the reasons why. Sometimes the person doesn't even want to hear it anyways, but you're like, hey, I tried everything that I could try. I did everything that I could do. If this person doesn't want to see how I'm feeling, then that's their problem, right? Because you have to make this decision, that do you keep trying to appease this person, or do you start focusing on you, and you let that go because you want to bring this calmness. This is something that may take time, right? It takes you some time to see both sides of the situation, that, hey, I'm coming into my own power, I'm stacking things in my corner, I'm starting to feel calmer, I'm coming out of the shadows, I'm doing it a little bit at a time, right? This is something that takes time for you to work through. It takes time for this communication and this letter. But then I feel like you have this King of Cups, which is, to me, that represents letting something go, not being so stressed. It's easygoing, it's more relaxed, because you took the time to look at both sides of the situation, and you decided to go with what makes you happy. And then you have this lightness and you have this happiness, and you're able to let it go, and you're having more fun, right? That's what life is about. It's not about being stressed all the time, or, yes, we have our moments and our times when we are, but I feel like that the fewer of those that you can have, I feel like the more enjoyable life is. And if there's something that you can look at, if there's something that you can change, if there's something that you can do in order to bring this peace and this fun, and to let things go into your life for it to be easier, I feel like that's something that you should look at and you should try and do. We have the Hangman, the commitment to seeing things differently, right? That commitment to yourself, the commitment to doing those things that make you happy, that bring you peace, right? That bring you excitement, right? The commitment to that, the commitment to yourself, to look out for yourself and say, I'm not going to let what other people have to say bother me, that I'm going to stand up for what I believe is right for me, and to come into your own power. All right, so let's get a Star Dragons. I feel like these two here, we have healing, restoring hope. That's exactly what this reading is about, is restoring hope to yourself, right? Restoring hope to yourself, because I feel like that's what you've kind of lost up here. And like I said, this one came out yesterday. So I feel like that's what you're doing. That's what you're trying to do, is healing and restoring hope to yourself. Knowledge, I feel like that goes with this. And that's what I was saying over here, is learning more about this thing that you want to do, that this person is trying to talk you out of, but learning more about what is important to you, what makes you happy, what brings you calmness, right? What brings you excitement. What is important. Knowledge is power, right? That's saying knowledge is power, and give yourself that power and commit to giving yourself that power. All right. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.